Welcome to the Essex Artist Spotlight. We're here with Steve Kosztala at U Studios 162. Steve, thanks for taking the time to share with us today.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about your background, Steve.
Well, I grew up in Connecticut, and I went to school in Boston. Took up after high school. I went to the service, and after the service, I went to study architecture in Boston. Graduated with a bachelor's degree, and that kind of helped me. I did a lot of drafting, considering these kaleidoscopes were more imagination and just put together as what I think of. But some of these, that drafting helped me to make models of some of the kaleidoscopes for me to build with, and that was a good background. And plus, I've done a lot of carpentry, building additions to my house, and
so it's kind of a natural transition with the kaleidoscopes and the construction and the technical aspects that go into.
Yeah, that's a good background for this. And I started out I took a kaleidoscope class, and they were teaching how to do a kaleidoscope of stained glass. And there's a lot of glass and a lot of soldering, and I didn't want to deal with soldering all the time. And plus I didn't have equipment for it, so I decided to use the same concept but use wood instead.
Right.
And
so is that how you came up with your style, and kind of through finding out what they were doing, kind of mixing your background and what you used to do with what they were doing? With
the fundamentals of kaleidoscopes, everything's pretty much the same as for the interior, but exterior is different, so it's my own imagination. I didn't copy anybody. Everybody does kaleidoscopes in their own fashion. I do it my way.
Right, absolutely. So now, tell us a little bit about your process. I see you have several of them in front of you. If you want to kind of pick one up and just kind of tell us a little bit about your process. How do you go about, do you start by turning?
One process is, this is a model I made. I drew it up first, and I put it together with cardboard from my drawing, and we took the same dimensions and put it together with this. And this is called a Paris wheel. So I made this thing and set it in here, see how it would work out. And I don't have the original; it's already got bought. So this one got some added features. There was a stand here that kept it from toppling over. So it worked pretty well. So my first time issuing or showing it got bought. So that came out pretty well.
So every time I talk to you, these don't last very long. They get bought up pretty quick, huh?
Some do, yes.
Yeah.
And the wood I get is a lot of it is from Glenn throws out. They got a wood pile there. He throws things out, and what he throws out, I recycle.
Right. So you don't need large chunks of wood.
He doesn't need large chunks, so I take him and be imaginative about it.
Right. So how long have you been part of the Essex?
Since 2018.
Okay. And so what would you say is some of the advantages to being part of the Essex? You mentioned like having access to scrap lumber, or maybe.
Yeah, I rent space from Glenn here, and he's been very helpful too, learning how to use these machines here. And I'm familiar with some of it, but not all the stuff he's got here. So it's been a big boost.
So one question I always ask is, what would you say to aspiring artists, somebody just getting in, like, you took some classes in kaleidoscopes, you were interested in that, just kind of a hint on somebody starting out?
Well, if someone's starting out, take classes, see if you're interested in it. How much it takes effort, how much effort it does take, and how to do something like this, and have a lot of imagination. You have to be yourself. You can't be copying people.
Right. So you learn the techniques and then put your own spin and your own personality into your pieces.
Yeah, and people like that because it's all original.
Right, absolutely. I know, it's beautiful. Thanks again for taking the time with us, Steve. I appreciate it. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about the kaleidoscopes? Or I think you mentioned you might have a show coming up.
Next Wednesday I have a show. Matter of fact, let's see. Anthology of Blue Ashes Fall Festival, October 20th. Local art show in Centennial Barn in mid-November. Well, it's show, so it's got two of them coming in. Next Wednesday, Blue Ash Fall Festival, and mid-November at the local barn, the Centennial Barn let's see. Well, that's in my website.
All right, great. Well, Steve, thanks for taking the time to share with us today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being part of the Essex.
Thanks.